Hello and welcome. I'm Thuli Magubane, and this is the Success Rate, where we talk about people's journey to success. As our byline says, there is no such thing as an overnight success. So today, joining us is a very talented gentleman, if I can call you a gentleman. He's a musician, he's a composer, he's a producer, he is an actor.
Yes.
He is, so I don't know, are you a dancer? Can I call you a triple threat?
No, not a dancer. Maybe yes, a triple threat, maybe, but not a dancer. I wish I knew how to dance.
So joining us today is Brian Temba. Some of you remember him from Muvhango days, Rantumeng.
Yes.
Do people still call you that?
I don't think I'll ever live that down. So everywhere I go, it's like run to me. They don't even say Brian Temba. Run to me. So it's okay.
No. Welcome. It's great
Thank
to
you.
have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So to start us off, do you remember your first crush? How old were you?
My first crush.
Yes. You don't have to give names.
Actually, no, I'm not gonna give.
Tell us about it.
I do.
So tell us about the crush.
So the crush used to live around well, I think about 5 k's from my home.
Yeah.
She was a doctor's child.
Uh-huh.
Double story, and I used to look at this girl and think, oh my gosh, she's so gorgeous.
Yes.
And Ekasi, we used to have this thing,
Yeah.
which is that's my girl. That's my girl. No, don't go there. That's my girl.
Yeah.
So she was my girl in my dreams.
I like that.
Yes.
Did she ever inspire any music?
No. No.
Okay, no, just checking, because obviously nothing inspires music like
Love.
heartache,
Yes.
love and heartache
Yes.
and all of that.
No, at the time I was still a kid, so I don't
How
think-
old were you?
In my teens, man. Like literally, I think probably we were 7, 8.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
not teens. That's
Oh,
pre-teens.
Yeah, pre-teens.
Yeah.
Like around those ages.
I remember my
10,
my first crush. I think I was probably like, I don't know, 10 or 12.
Yeah.
That age, and he just happened to be a neighbor.
Oh wow.
We never look far, hey?
Yeah, no, never do. Never do.
So tell us about your journey, growing up. Did you always know that you wanted to be in the limelight?
No. So I think my journey was a weird one, to be
Yes.
honest. I grew up in an era where around town there was no one who was successful in music and whatnot, you know.
Yes.
And I never. It's like you see something like music, you love it
Yes.
so much, but you don't understand what it is. You just know you love singing, you love the sound of music, you love everything about it, but you don't envision it being a career or something that could be your livelihood.
True.
You know, so we grew up in an era where I was just singing everywhere, in the house, taking a shower, or just singing everywhere, and everybody's saying, "Oh my God, you have a good voice." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, thanks." And then we move, you know.
Yes.
Nothing about I want to make this a career. I want to be a musician.
Yes.
Until one instant when everybody says I started singing in church. No, I didn't start singing in church. I think I started singing when I was at home and around the house. But obviously in 1995, I started going to church and singing in the choir, singing as a worship leader and all of that. There was a group that was popular in the gospel industry at the time. The group's name was Family Factory.
Yes.
So our church musicians, when we decided let's record an album.
Okay.
So we need help from the professionals, which was
yes.
at the time Umthunzi Namba, and Family Factory.
Yes.
So Family Factory did our BVs on the album, on the church album, and Tunzi Namba was the producer.
I see.
So yes, we had a church, these year-end church functions and whatever. So they invited Family Factory and Tunzi Namba to come and perform on the day. These people walk in and they're so beautiful. These people, these people
Wearing
are
the
just like-
suits.
yes,
And
they're
gospel
beautiful.
singers normally wear the
Margaret
nice suits.
Mutaka, Abo
Yes.
Vicky Vilagazi. They
Yes.
looked so gorgeous. And I'm like, yo, okay.
This is
These
what I
people-
want.
Mabacula, when they sang, they were like angels.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I want this. At that point, I was like, I want that. Whatever that is, I want it. So I had a conversation with them, with one of them. And I was like, so this is what you guys do. Because I sang, so they liked what I did as well. They were like, wow, you sing lovely and all of that. And I'm like, thank you. But like, is this, what do you guys do? Like, is this your job? They're like, yeah, this is our job. We get paid
To
to
do what
actually
we love.
sing. Yes. I was like, hold on, what? Are you serious? You can get paid to sing? They were like, yeah. And I was like, this is what I want.
Okay. So then it started off you backing up various individuals.
Yes,
You also were involved with Joyous Celebration.
Yes.
And I mean, Joyous is a big,
Yeah.
group or production, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So when you were singing backup for those individuals, did you see yourself standing in the front and being the guy that everyone is coming to see?
Yes.
And
I
how
think-
long did it take for you to transition from the back to the front?
Look, I think after I discovered that I could make singing it into a career, I started joining groups locally,
Yes.
singing with guys, and at times they would push me to sing lead and all of that. And I think from then, I wanted to do my own thing. I had the zeal and the conviction to just be Brian.
Yes.
You understand? To lead songs, to be, and I think I've had that, growing up anyway. And when I started singing with Joy Celebration, I think that was training ground for me to become an individual and a solo artist in my own right.
Yes, yeah.
So I did see it when I could see that people loved what I do, and they listened to me sing and they loved it. Why not? I wanted to be a solo artist at some point. And for some reason, I used to have dreams after that to say I wanted to record my first album overseas.
Yes. And you decided to go into R&B. You're known as an R&B musician. And in South Africa, R&B is a genre that is
Yeah,
usually
it's
frowned
difficult.
upon and difficult to succeed in, but you've
Right.
persevered. How have you
Yes.
managed to just, carve that path for yourself and make sure that you succeed
Yeah.
in the journey you chose for yourself?
Look, I think what I had to offer the industry was different from a lot of people, and I think that that set me apart. The way I sounded, I didn't sound like anyone. I didn't try and sound like anyone. I loved, there were people that I listened to direct me to being Brian Temba as a solo artist.
Yeah.
But I don't know. From the first time I released my first album, actually, everybody wanted, to know who this is.
Yes.
Is this an international person? Is it a
Is it
local person?
Yes, yeah.
But they saw a video, and it didn't help that I recorded the whole album in England.
Yes, yeah.
And they saw the video. Babona Lumjita, Waman Trades, but Brian Temba, hello, he's not local. And there was
But didn't the timbre confuse people?
it confused them because there's a Temba with an H, which
Yes,
is
yeah.
actually what my name is.
Yeah.
But I took out the H to say Temba so that international people wouldn't have
Yes,
problems
yeah.
pronouncing the name. And now it didn't help because I recorded the album there. The sound was like new in South Africa. And at the time, I think there was Loiso, who was an R&B artist at the time. TK, may
Yes,
her
yeah.
soul rest in peace. And there was not a lot of R&B at the time. So when I came out, they were like, who is this? Who is this? We want this. So everyone, Metro FM, every publication, even Channel O didn't even know I was South African until I walked
And
into
then
their office.
when they flighted your video, yes, yeah.
Yeah, and they used to play it on repeat
Yeah.
until I walked into their office and Ngati Sanbonan. But excuse me, you are Brian Temba. What do you mean, Sanbonani?
How?
What do
Does
you
it know
You
Sanbonani?
understand? And I think from that point
Yeah.
they started nominating me. They started knowing I'm South African, and I could work with them at the time. So R&B became popular in a way.
Yes.
Until now. But I think because of my sound and because of how I write, it has kept me relevant
Yeah.
in the industry. And I've collaborated with a lot of people within R&B or house music as well.
Yes,
And that
yeah.
kept the brand and the name relevant in the industry.
Take us through what went through your mind and the feelings when you got your first nomination?
My background is a weird one. I think I grew up shy, and sometimes, our parents, as much as they raised us good, there was an element of inferiority in a way, to say I don't deserve this. Like when I first got into Lion King, I was surprised. Would say I can do that in movie.
Yes.
And when I got my award, you sing and you know you're singing, but you don't have confidence enough to say I'm that good to be nominated. So when you're nominated, it's like, oh, it's like an affirmation of some sort from God to say you are that good. So look at yourself in that manner. If you're, it's even worse when you win the award. Because in 2010 I won Best R&B, and I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?
Yes, yeah.
Are you kidding me right now?" So from that point, because of I had low self-esteem in a way. So I think as time goes on, you find yourself. You build your confidence in what you do. Nah, manje ngeke ungitshele next.
No, you've grown into being the man that you are.
Yes.
So Brian is the man that he thinks that he is.
Oh yeah, definitely 150%.
Okay. So having been part of the Lion King and being the first, first Simba, African Simba in UK.
Yes.
So finding yourself in the UK.
Yeah.
What were some of the issues that you dealt with in terms of trying to transition from being a South African, now finding yourself in the UK and making a life and a living in the UK?
I think I grew up. I'm laughing at this because ngikhule ngiyisnob yabo. Ngikhuluma ngempumulo.
Cheese boy.
Cheese boy yabo. So I never had a hard time transitioning.
Okay.
For some reason, I don't know why. Because I started in the States with the Lion King, and for some reason, yes, there were South Africans there, but most of my friends, closest friends, were Americans.
Yeah.
I related more with them, and even in England when I went there, it was easy for me. I don't know if it was because of my accent. I don't know if it was because of lifestyle. I don't know what it was. But I found myself actually transitioning easier when I got to the States and the UK.
Okay.
So it wasn't hard at all.
So what do you think in your upbringing, sowed that seed for you to be able to be comfortable in whatever environment that you found yourself? Okay.
So I think we were exposed to not so much great things, but certain things, the little things there and there.
Tell us one of you, like when you were growing up, what were some of one or two things that you were exposed to where the average kid around you was not?
Trips, trips. He'll take us to Durban, or at the time.
Yes.
Ukuya Durban enkulu kakhulu. That was something important. Going to Cape Town was something seriously important. The type of cars my dad used to drive, and we were exposed to that. Getting into proper cars, going into good schools as well. Let me not say good schools, but into
Model C
schools.
Model C.
Those type of things, and I angazi why bengithanda English kakhulu. So.
Hey.
But bengikhuluma English. Ngithanda, like I didn't even study for English, but I passed it all the time.
Yeah. So. Our show is called The Success Rate.
Yes.
And so one of the questions we always ask our guests is, what is the biggest myth or fallacy about success?
The myth or the fallacy, I think, for me, is always about finances.
Yes.
And I don't think success is about finances, if you ask me. Success for me is about having a family, and children that look up to you and say, when they've grown up and said, say, I am like this because of my dad.
True,
I'm like this because my dad worked hard for me to be like this. I'm respectful because my dad taught me how to be respectful. Yes, finances are a success, but like a lot of people that are successful, unfortunately, that I've seen, they are very successful but unhappy. So for me, finances is something that's very priceless.
Yes.
Having a family, having a wife that respects you, having a wife that you share life with, or having your
Yes.
children coming after you and being happy because you are their father, and you've made an impact in their lives.
Yes.
You know,
And then finances, how did you adjust as a young man?
I had a hard time.
Earning money,
Oh.
parents are not around. You can do what you want with your money.
Look,
How was that?
actually, that was a rude lesson
Uh-huh.
because, for instance, I was in the UK. I was in the Lion King. I was earning a lot of money, £1,900 a week.
Wow.
You see, so that's
And
a
that was
lot of money.
in the 90s,
That was
early
no. That
2000s.
was yeah, early
Early
2000s.
2000s, yes.
That was the 2003 to 2005. I was also in the States earning in dollars and in Mali. For me, it was good because I could send money home. I could do things, ekaya and all of that. But for me as an individual, it was difficult because I always say that we never raised to be entrepreneurs or to manage money. You know, we didn't have education in those terms to be able to make your money work for you.
Yes.
You had a lot of money. I was good twins in Ngayo. You buy stupid things that you don't need. You know,
Like what?
no, just ridiculous things. When you buy cars, when you don't need a car in England, why would I buy a car in England, in London,
Yes.
when there's public transport that is accessible everywhere? I don't need a car. You know, yes, I bought property, but even still, I didn't know how to manage that. You see, so I always say, even today, when my kids grow up a little bit more, I want to teach them about finances. I want to teach them about entrepreneurship. You know, you can go to school. It's good to go to school. It's very good to go to school, but find something that will fulfill
So, what
you.
is the one thing that you wish you knew back then when you got those nice checks on a weekly basis?
I wish I knew about music business more than anything.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I'm gifted in, and it's something that I love.
Yeah.
It's something that I wouldn't mind putting time into. You know, I wish I had gone to school for music.
Yeah.
Then the money that I would have gotten, I would have advanced a lot more. You know, as a musician and all of that, and in business as well. I could have bought a lot more property in South Africa and made it work for me now. You know, with the money
And
that
you
I
could
was
have-
getting,
yes, yeah.
I could have been able to do that.
And then, is there anything you collect? I see you've got a nice watch there.
Oh, yeah.
The bling. So, a watch is your
Oh, yeah.
weakness.
Yeah. Watches, sneakers, yeah, definitely.
Okay. How many do you have?
what?
Sneakers.
Ish. A lot.
More than the average Joe.
Yes, yeah. My dad said to me, "Why you need katules ningathi umfazi?" And I was like, "Well, I just love them, you know." I have
And
a
the
lot of-
watches, which one is in your list that you wish to acquire that you don't have yet?
that I don't have
Yet.
as yet
Yeah.
is a Jacob and Co. Jacob and Co. That's a
Would you want them to customize one for you?
yeah.
Maybe with the piano,
Oh my God! Yeah.
with the because I mean
Yes.
Jacob and Co. They can do anything.
You understand?
It can have a piano there,
Yes.
and then as you dial, you hear.
Oh.
dee, dee.
Oh my God! But I'm sure that would be like $1 million or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love watches. I have about 23 watches.
Oh wow! And what was the first real? Okay, not a watch, timepiece. The
Timepiece
first
that I've-
timepiece that you acquired.
I was in London.
Uh-huh.
It was a Breitling.
Oh wow!
Yes. It
Okay.
was a Breitling and a Rolex, but it was I bought it because it looked so nice, but it's a girly Rolex, which I've actually given to my wife now.
Yeah.
That was those two.
Those were
the
the first
Breitling
two,
first,
yeah.
and then the Rolex as well.
And then the music industry. I mean, so you've been in this industry for a long time, starting off, as you said, in church and eventually becoming a solo
Artist, yeah.
artist yourself. What has been the biggest disappointment for you in the industry?
In the industry as a whole, for me, the disappointment is our industry not being able to regulate music. You know, in terms of you have a lot of great musicians, old musicians, who are forgotten completely.
Yes.
You know, you have R&B artists that are working in an office where they could be performing, where they could be on stage performing for people and being celebrated. Once we get a sound, like I'll give an example because of the time now.
Yes, yeah.
Amapiano is the biggest thing right now. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. I hated it at first, but now I love it because
Weren't
it's
you
our
confused
thing.
by the name?
Amapiano.
Amapiano.
I was. But when I learned of the history of Amapiano, I understood what it was. Because I grew up in Soshanguve, so I know Soshanguve people or Pretoria people, how about a piano? They know exactly what they're talking about. And this Kubusa thing, it was different to everybody. So Amapiano for me comes from there, you know. And I understood when they said Amapiano, I was like, oh, okay. It's not actually the piano sound, but it's just the sound, you know, of the music. Amapiano is very popular, and I love that it is. We have hip hop, you know, that's taking a dip and then coming up and dip and coming up. And you find hip hop artists having to now go into Amapiano, which is, you know, which it shouldn't happen. And I just feel our industry and our media houses are not regulating the music properly. There has to be hours where you're playing jazz. Jazz music is dying now because it's not played as much as it needs to be played.
Yeah.
It's only played on Sundays. Now you want R&B, it's played on Sundays or in the evening when a lot of people are not listening, you know. During the day, you're listening to Amapiano. Afro-pop, live music is not happening as much as it used to happen. And I just feel our industry, there needs to be people that understand music and say, okay, we have a new sound. Let's celebrate the new sound.
Yeah.
But we can't forget where we come from. We can't forget who we are now because of the older sound. You know, Kwaito. I mean, you know, it's a beautiful sound. So I just feel that my disappointment is that our, music is not celebrated as it needs to be celebrated.
And how do you deal with failure? How do you handle failure? And what has been the biggest failure for you?
Failure. It depends on what, in what sense and in what angle or in what aspect. Failure, there's been different types of failures in my life, I think.
Yeah.
Whether it be relationships or whether it be in the music industry or, you know, with my children as well. I have a daughter, my firstborn is in England, you know. She was born there, and I think one of the failures that I feel about, you know, as far as she's concerned, is that I wasn't there as much as I needed to be because of location, obviously, and whatnot, and I decided to come back home. She was there. I've always said that I wanted to be present in my children's lives. Although I am now, we're talking as much as we can, but I wanted to be physically there.
Yes, yeah.
You know,
don't be an absentee father.
I hate that. It's my children, so I need to be there physically. That's important because that's priceless. You can't replace that time. You can't. It's not like money. That's why I'm saying money is not that important. Yes, money is important to live and all of that, but time, you can never replace time. You can never buy time.
And then, so as you said, you've had different types of failures. And how do you deal with that? How do you get out and motivate yourself to continue?
I always say that if you wake up in the morning, then you have an opportunity. That's an opportunity on its own, because you're able to wake up and rectify what you failed to do yesterday. You know, okay, some things you can't, like I'm saying, my daughter, time and everything else, you can't replicate that. But in terms of life and changing situations and changing your life, you are able to do that if you wake up every morning. If you wake up, I always say that I have an opportunity. I've done so much in my life. My biog is huge, but I always say to people, I actually feel like I'm starting now. I haven't even scratched the surface of of who I want to be or where I want to go. You see, so don't look at me or look at my profile and say, wow, you've done so much, you're a legend. No, yes, I'm a legend, but I haven't even started. What I'm about
There's
to
still
give
more
you,
to be done. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let's get into our Fire 5,
Okay.
which is 5 quick questions, fun
Okay.
questions.
Okay.
Don't spend too much time thinking about it.
Yeesh.
So whatever comes to mind first, give us that.
Okay.
So on a plane, are you a window or aisle person? And
Window.
why? Why?
Window, because I get to see the sky.
Okay. Joe Thomas or Johnny Gill?
Joe Thomas. Sorry.
Why?
I just love Joe, man.
Yeah.
I think I love Johnny Gill, but Joe Thomas has influenced my music so much, and my tone of voice is almost
very
the same as
similar,
him.
yeah.
So Joe Thomas is that's it.
Okay. And what's your current TV obsession?
Netflix.
What are you watching on Netflix?
Right now, I'm watching Diplomat.
Ah, the new season.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Any dessert that you don't like?
Yes. There's this Indian dessert. It's sweet. It's like a pastry, and it's very sweet. And I don't like that.
It's too sweet.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Can something be too sweet?
That one is not nice sweet.
Your favorite board game?
Board game. Snakes and Ladders. Yes.
Okay. How old were you when you first
Oh,
played?
God. Yeah, probably in my teens then. I think I was like about 13, 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snakes and ladder. I know we grew up playing that, and then from there kind of progressed onto checkers, and then from
Yeah.
checkers went on to chess.
Ah.
Yes.
I
The natural
I wish I'd learned how to play chess. Because
Really?
because it's a mind game.
Hey,
So for me,
So you've never learned?
no.
Okay.
And I
all
blame my
right.
dad for that.
Okay.
Because he knew chess.
So
and
we
I
need
told
to.
him I wanted to learn.
Yes. So I guess we need to fix that.
Yeah. We have to. We have to.
I don't
yeah.
have it. I guess I need to buy myself a set. I haven't played in many years.
Right.
And as you said, you blame your dad. So for me,
Yes.
it was my dad
Who taught you?
who taught me how to play chess.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think chess for me, you can apply it in life as well. I think it's a brilliant
a
game.
strategy.
Yeah.
Are you a strategist?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. I think I am.
I like that.
Look, I think most of us have potential that we have not tapped in, and I've had to learn that when I was older. You know, there's things that I've done where I'm like, yo, I didn't know I could do this, but I'm doing it,
Yes.
and that all, speaks strategy. You know, for instance, we brought Johnny Gill into the country. For the first time, I was one of the promoters that was part of that team.
Yes. Yeah.
And I didn't know I could do that. I did not know I could do that. But with my mind and everything that I achieved within that journey, for me, it was like, wow.
What was the biggest lesson from that?
From that I can do anything I put my mind to it. If I put my
So
mind
what
to it,
else
I can do it.
haven't you done? Maybe something that's in your bucket list that you haven't done that you still want to do.
Property development. Or
So
construction.
ufuna ukugqoka amakarapa
Yes.
and
Not to build myself, but like to...
but be on site.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a dream that I want to achieve.
Okay.
And
So
I
start
will.
your own property development
Company.
company.
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned already that you are passionate about property. So
Yes.
what is it about property that, I don't know, you find so
design.
engaging and
Design,
and it pulls you in? Yes.
Design, interior designing, textures. Oh man, all of that. You know, I also like traveling in a sense that I love staying in hotels, different hotels, because of the design of them.
Yes.
You know, it interests me to. I don't want to just sleep in a hotel that's just normal. And that's okay.
It's just
But let's find
functional. It's
something
got
different.
a bed, it's got a bathroom, and that's it.
Let's find something different. It's colorful, something, themes. Let's say we have a Venetian theme.
Yes.
Let's say we have a Spanish theme or whatever. For me, those interest me. And I like buildings. I love, especially Monte Cassino. I love how it's designed. For me, that kind of thing interests me.
Yes, yeah.
Because you go into some buildings and you feel like you're in another country, but you are in Joburg. So that for me is more interesting.
So you
That's why I wanna
travel. So
develop.
which country has had the most fascinating architecture for you?
Actually, Italy. In
Italy.
Florence.
In Florence.
Yes.
So every time you're walking around, you were just in
Oh,
awe.
God. Yes. Yes. I want to go to Greece. I've never
So,
been to Greece.
so
but
do
I
you
wanna
think
go.
you missed your calling
Yeah. No, I think I have time to actually fulfill it.
to fulfill that?
Yes.
Okay. Any regrets? Do you have any regrets in life?
No. I think my regrets is that of my daughter. That's my only regret at the moment.
Okay.
But I don't think I have regrets. Certain things I think I can still achieve to cover what hasn't happened in the past. So
Yeah.
no, not so
And
much.
anything that you'd want to do over if you had an opportunity to?
Um, yeah, there's probably a lot.
Give us one.
There's probably a lot. I think I would go back to school and finish school because I was doing business management and I decided to drop out. I also wish I could go back to school to do music properly. I think I would want to fulfill that as I go because
I mean, Hot
feel-
Sticks wasn't he like 60
exactly, yeah, and I respect
when
that
you
about that.
graduated? Yes.
Because if it's something that you love, I think you want to see it through. You know, I want to see. Yes, I'm good at production. I'm good at singing. I'm good at doing this. I have a good ear, but there's elements that are still missing. You know, with my music development and all of that. So I really would like to
Yeah.
to venture into that.
And then, as we are wrapping up, which individual had the most impact in your life in terms of getting you to be where you are right now? Who would that individual be?
My mother.
How so?
My mother, I think by just being supportive. Being supportive. Yes, sometimes there are things that they were not exposed to, and she's had to transition and accommodate.
Yes, yeah.
Development and growth and all of that. But when that time came, she was supportive in that.
In that, yeah.
My mother, there's three people that have played a huge role in my life. My mother, my sister, and my cousin. Sylvester had played a huge role in terms of my music development as well. Being supportive, being there.
Which Sylvester, not Mazinyani?
No, Sylvester Majol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
he's more into sound and he's more
Yeah.
a musician as well. Even though he works at 9 to 5, but he's always been active in the music space and actually provided for me to be active in that way. My sister has been supportive. My sister is my manager as well now. She's my protector basically. So she's yeah, you know. So these three people.
Yeah,
for
she's
me-
like a hen, and she makes sure
yeah,
that
yeah.
that you're protected.
Yes.
All right. And mentorship, have you had any mentors that have had a significant impact in your life?
Definitely. Steve Anthony Campbell is my first producer. He's the guy that produced my first album in England.
Yeah.
He was my music mentor. He was somebody that helped me develop as a producer and as somebody that who I am basically in music right now was through him. You know, and he took the time, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when I met him the first time, I played him things that I had done. You know,
Yes, yeah.
and he didn't crush me, whereas people before him crushed and said, just stick to singing and not do production and not do other things.
And how did you deal with that when people would...
I was crushed,
Crushed.
but I didn't give up. So my thing is, you can say everything negative about, you know, what I'm doing and whatnot, but I will push until I get it right. Until you
Push
come and
through,
confess
yes,
and
yeah.
say, okay, you've done good. You know, so Steve, for me, he didn't crush me at all. He was like, okay, there's potential here.
Yeah.
We can develop this and make it, you know, better. As we were recording my debut album, I would be the one being the engineer. And he'd say, no, do that.
Yeah.
So he gave me tasks to do. And that's how you develop.
True.
As opposed to somebody doing it for you. He pushed me and said, no, you do it. You clean the vocals. You choose the sound that needs to go wherever. Which one? So for me now, it's easier for me to go into studio and know what sound I want.
And so in wrapping up, some parting shots in terms of your reflections about your journey, success, anything that you want to leave with our audience?
Look, you have to dig deep to know what's important to you. But I'll say this, finances only, they always say, the Bible says money is power. Yes, we need to have money. We need to have money. But money comes and goes. People that are in your life and people that are valuable are more valuable than money. You see, whether it be family is wrong sometimes, but whether it be family, whether it be friends, whether it be your children or whatever, value that more, push that more. Because and I've learned that when you have a partner beside you that's supportive, you become even better.
Any other things that you still want to do within the entertainment industry? We know you're going into property at some point.
Yes,
so in the industry, are there things that you haven't done that you want to do?
I want to develop artists in the right way, because where we come from and how I was developed, we were exploited a lot. We were exploited
and
a
I
lot.
think exploitation still happens.
Yes, no, it still happens, and that's what annoys me.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has the right to learn. Everyone has the right to be taught, not in the bad way, not in the worst way, where they are ripped off, where they are. I want to work with artists in a way that they need to know their business. They need to know the music business. They need to know that if they're going to record, they need to learn how to write songs, because that translates into royalties.
True, yeah.
And the royalties are lifetime. You see, so it's like an investment. You see, write songs, learn how to. If you don't know how to do it, learn how to do it, so that you know if I'm part of the song. I mean, I have songs that are popular songs, and I don't even have a cut. It can't be that way. From get-go.
And you are featured in those songs?
No, they've written for me. They are my songs.
Oh, I see.
I don't have a cut because I didn't write them. So it's important that artists need to know, learn how to write a song, learn how to produce as a singer.
Yes.
A lot of singers don't know how to produce. They want to be produced. They want to be written for. That's not the way to go. Learn how to produce. Learn how to write. Learn how to know your sound when you're going to perform. So those are the things that I've learned along the way. And I can pride myself and say, okay, that sound is not right. That is not right. What are we connecting? Okay, you're telling me we need a jack-to-jack, or we need a XLR. I know all of that.
Yes, yeah.
And a lot of artists don't know. No, just give me my mic and I'll sing.
Yeah. So people need to be empowered.
Exactly. So
I
that's
like
that's exactly what I want to do.
So guys, if you are an aspiring artist, holla at him. He wants to develop you. He wants to empower you.
Yes. No, definitely.
All right, Brian. It was a pleasure having you and having a conversation with you.
Thank you for having me.
And quite insightful. And I'm hoping you do all that you wish to do in the future.
Thank you.
Property
Thank you.
business.
Yes.
And I hope that you have some diamonds that you can, find somewhere, polish up, and you can say, hey,
Yes.
I had a hand in making sure that this individual is successful.
Exactly. As they're getting paid, I need to get paid too. So.
All right. If you've enjoyed the episode with Brian, make sure that you like the episode, you share it with your friends and family, tell someone about the success rate, and make sure that, of course, you subscribe. We're trying to make this circle bigger.